people family at the side. Welcome to a new video, and today's video is going to be with a special guest. Yes, a special guest. You can see his hand. Yes, his hand right there behind me, and in just a second you will see his hand and him for a brief moment before I get into tackling his cuticles. Yes, so let's welcome in our special guest here, coming on in, bringing it, and I'm going to use my tools. And no, don't worry, I'm not going to be making a Frankenstein ghost or be like an evil scientist. It's alive. So as you can see, I have my cuticle pusher, and you know what that means. Cuticle cleanup is on aisle 9, or is it on aisle 7? Probably on aisle 7, as it is what the brand is of my cuticle remover nap. So we're going to try this today on my significant other's nails, see them all, and see what we can do to fix up some bad boys. And yes, he is there with his hand going up, down, and all the way around. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. I'm starting to push down the cuticles with my cuticle pusher. As you can see, there's a fair amount of cuticles there. And yes, I did forget the cuticle remover from W7, so now I'm putting it on, and there's the instructions if you can read that there. I'm just going to saturate the cuticle there, just as if I was using some nail oil, but this will just help loosen it so it's easier to get it taken off. So, and I would just push it down because it makes it a lot easier to push down and all that. Awesome. I will use the sharp side in a minute, but it's not actually not that sharp. It just helps get rid of the dead skin that you can't get off with the push side. So I'm just kind of getting under there and making sure that we get all the dead skin off there, because we don't want that. And as I didn't leave it on for long enough, I just thought I'd add just a little bit more. But just because I added a little bit more is okay right now, but don't use the cuticle remover more than every 2 weeks, it says, because of the reaction it does to the skin, which is fine. Just it's not good to make it that weak every time. So at least 2 weeks, and then use it. And I'm just taking off what I can. As you can see, there is a lift there, and that is the dead skin. So I'm going to half float it on the natural nail so I don't cut the actual skin there that is not dead. I'm only doing that part that you see that's kind of see-through-y kind of lift there. So I'm doing no damage whatsoever because it's just what is actually dead and doesn't need to be there. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just cleaning it all up, making sure I get all the little bits. And then that's what the dead skin looks like when it is actually dead. That's why you push it down first, and then use this thing, go underneath it. We just get this little corner here to make it even more cleaned up beyond EA. Not looking pretty nice if I do say so myself. Now we go here and let's tackle this middle finger. We're just going to push down the cuticle a little bit more just to make sure I get all the dead skin that needs to be taken away. And there is some there, so that's why I'm using this. Yes, he hasn't had this done for a good while, so there's a fair amount there. It doesn't actually look too bad fully, but you can kind of start seeing it when it gets pushed down. So just pushing it down is not fully all is needed here, as you can see. So there we go. And now to the dun dun dun. Yep, we are doing the thumb. Yep.
This one is the one that came off itself last month. That's why. It got so thick that it peeled back, so this one won't be so bad.
Yeah, your skin is just a little dry there, and but there's not much to do here, unlike your other fingers I just did. There's a little bit, but I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to push it down. Yeah, I'm just pushing it down here with the cuticle pusher, and now I'm using the sharp side. No, this one, as like you said, we don't need to fix it as much because of what happened. So that's a good thing. All we got to do is just use the sharp side to kind of just make sure any dead skin just comes right off, so it's nice and cleaned up. So that's looking pretty good. Now what I'm going to do, just to make them really put together, is I'm going to buff them. All I'm doing is kind of giving them a nice nice finish on them. So I'm buffing up the lines on it a little bit. And then I'm just doing that with all your nails here. Not my nails. So just giving it a slight manicure. No polish or anything on it at all. It's just giving it a nice little buff. Because if you don't want to do too much, this is something you can do. Just don't go too crazy with the buffness, because you don't want to thin out the nails too much. But there we go with that. Looking not too bad. As you see, it's getting shinier to shiny. Now I'm just making sure if there's any last minute bits of the cuticle to get finished. So just taking off excess, slightness, and everything. Yep, just taking that in, looking here, looking there. And there's tiny little bits, but that's not too bad. Just want to make sure they're as perfect as they can be. Now I am making sure it's nice and buffed as I buff to the bufferstons. Buff to the bufferstons. Now I use the other side, the side that makes it shiny. To the shiny. Ooh, yeah. Let's see that shine up. Yep. Now to the next phase. The even shiny to the shiny. Why not? See that doing its thing? Yep. And now to end it all off, using some cuticle oil. Definitely want to put some of that after doing all of that work on it. Give it a nice little hydration of niceness back into that area as it has been using that. Now I just kind of rub it in, give it a nice little thing, and brings the blood blood circulation to that too, so that helps as well. And of course, we can't leave out the thumb. The thumb needs hydration as well. Yes, the thumb might have been one of the more easier ones to do, but doesn't mean that it doesn't need hydration, just like all the rest. It might not be considered a finger, but the thumb is still as important. Well, there we go with those fingers that I fixed up, giving the salon treatment to his nails as best as I could for now being a professional. At least they're nice and cleaned up, and we can hope that he comes back to the Max Magic Salon for at least once a month, we would hope. Because, yeah, but his other hand, on the other hand, does have a slightly worser thumb, I think. So we'll just go clean those up. But at least we got these ones nice and done. Looking not too shabby. Got a lot of that cleaned up. Even if you're not one that does your nails, sometimes this can help. But if you are a carpenter person, you can't really do anything about it. But if you're one that can, why not try to fix them up? Then you don't have your hands looking too shabby. So with no further ado, there we go with Max Magic Salon, bringing it with why not guys go to salons as well if they like to. It doesn't mean you have to get nail polish on your fingers. I know I do, but that's just me. And other people. And don't mind that. So with no further ado, till next time, swaggle, swaggle, bam!